Muscle Car Modeler. My name is Raul, and since you guys responded pretty heavily to this resin kit, my preview of it, and I got a bunch of questions, so I decided I want to do some work to it and answer some of your questions for you. A couple of things. Your typical model glue is not going to work on resin. I like to use super glue. That's just personal preference. 5-minute epoxy also works, and some of those other glues like that, CA glue, but I just use your simple super glue Loctite. I won't be doing any gluing right away, but this is what I use. And then just to catch you up, this is my original front bumper and rear bumper. Well, not really the front bumper, but grill and headlights and turn signals I fit in there, and then the bumper. These are the ones I'm going to be using, even though I got the ones that came with the kit here. I went over those, but I won't be using these. But when I'm cleaning all the flash out and making sure everything fits, I make sure the parts I am using fit, because sometimes if I fit it to these and then do the paint and body work and then have these chromed and try these, you might be in for a surprise. I've had some where the resin bodies are just a little different or a little off. For some reason a little smaller. I've had it with a couple of kits where the front bumper doesn't quite fit from the production kit, and then some of the resin parts don't fit an original kit, and you've got to work and tweak them. So all of that is done in the bodywork stages, and so I'm going to start by cleaning this up, and I'm not too worried about the warpage or squaring it up right now, because I've got to clean, if you can see the flash and the double parts here, got to clean all that up and sand all these areas where the flash is, clean them all up and get them to where it actually does sit. So some of this can be making an illusion as to how warped it actually is. And these are really thin. I'll just punch them with my finger and clean them up with the razor blade. And then you can see where it's kind of like thickened up or doubled, where the mold didn't quite get in there. You find some of that stuff too, but I'll be cleaning some of this stuff out and doing that in front of you here. At this stage, and this is personal preference, I don't worry about cleaning off any of the mold release at this time. That's just me, and it's personal preference. I know a lot of guys will soak the body in either Wesley's Bleach White, which is the popular choice, or I've got the Purple Pond. I'll actually dip it in the Purple Pond. use my toothbrush, and I'll scrub the whole body just to get any of the mold release off. I like to do that right before I prime, because I'll clean this all up, sand it, smooth it all out, but I won't do any body work until I do the first layer of primer and start sanding. But I'll do the cleaning of the mold release at that time, and that's just my personal preference, because you got to do it at that point anyway, because you've got the oil in your fingers and you got to clean all that off anyway. So that's when I do that on that one. This one's it's pretty thin, so all of this is coming out pretty easily. The windshield part is a lot thicker, and then I'd be very careful around these pillars, because they can break pretty easily. Use my X-Acto knife. This one's just a little thicker, and just start cutting, and yeah, it's really thick right in there. And sometimes I'll cut away from it and then sand to where I want it to be. Not trying to do a clean cut at this point, because I'd rather cut not enough away and then sand and clean up to it than worry about getting it right up to there. And then I'll use my sanding sticks, just your typical, and then here, and square it all up and everything, just to see if the hood fits, because right now the hood's not gonna fit, just pulling that out right there. Plus I got extra flash right in here, but there's just lots of clean up that's gonna be happening here. This is super thin. Something back there that's grabbing onto. Some other resin kits I'll show you and do some reviews on that are much cleaner, that they come right from the manufacturer, and some that almost appear that they don't need any body work, even though they will. And I'll show you some of those and some of my favorites. It's kind of weird to do reviews on resin kits because what's available one day may not be available the next day. Sometimes there's huge waiting lists, and I know Kevin at Missing Link has told me his Chevelle, 73 Chevelle, he's had long lists on, and almost doesn't even need to advertise them. There's just, that many people wanting it. So, as these guys get well known, and then molds get damaged and torn and whatnot, so they can be discontinued right away, and others just for some reason don't take off, even though you get a bunch of people that are really interested in it. It's a subject, and then for some reason out of the blue they just don't sell. Just quickly cleaned up all the flash, so we'll see. The bumper's fitting there fairly well. I gotta clean more up of this and clean up the mounting, and we'll see how well she slides in there, and clean up right here and here. I got a lot of work on this part of it. There's a lot of extra flash and areas, but I'd rather it be too big so that way I can sand it and fit it than be too small. And right now I'm just pretty much just cleaning it out and roughing it in to get an idea where I need to be. And it's the only thing with resin kits is there's a lot more cleanup and a lot more flash, and you've got a lot more work to do. And sometimes there's just way too much on the insides here where you gotta get a Dremel and clean it out or thin it out in areas. This one doesn't look too bad, but there's something there that's pushing it down. Probably on more in here. It's a little harder to do this while I'm filming it. Normally it'd be right in my face, and I'll be cleaning it and using some of my files and sanding and getting it fine-tuned, which is harder to do that and film, and I got a camera in my way. And it helps if I put this right side up. So yeah, I've got a lot of work to do there. But that's one of the things with resin is you hear many guys say, if you want it, buy it, don't wait. So I got a stash that I do, is grabbing kits and buying them, and some of them will turn into investments, or all of a sudden it's worth a whole lot more. The demand's so high and they're not being made, and you can turn around and sell them as investments. I've done that on a couple. I've had the opposite happen too, where that really nice Model Haas resin 66 Impala, and all of a sudden Revell comes out with a 66 Impala. Although they didn't call it the Impala when they first came out with it, they called it the just Chevy 66 Chevy SS 396, and they're re-releasing that one again. Another one I had, but I actually built it, was the 72 Hurst Olds convertible. I had a resin Model Haas one of those, and sure enough, Revell came out with that car too. So it's a risk either way. But when it comes to resin, if it comes out and you want it, just go ahead and, if you can afford it, because it can be kind of expensive. Especially when you buy the kit, you buy the donor kit, and sometimes you're still missing some pieces and you got to make some pieces. So it can add up fast. Like I said, this one was $60. I got another $25–30 in the donor kit, then decals. You know, there's an easy $100. But for me, I forget about the money. I enjoy building the model car, so the money is quickly forgotten, and just the joy of building and getting it accomplished. And then also having a car on the table or in my collection that very few people will have. It's part of it too. And me, you know, liking so many muscle cars and such a wide variety that some of them are only available in resin. That has a lot to do with it too. But so I'm gonna get more work on this, and you know, that's just like a quick cleanup. But I'm gonna get more work onto this one, get to more sanding, getting it ready, and I will do a few other videos. So any other questions you have for me, please share them. I will answer them and address them. And I'll be, you know, cleaning this one up. This one's going to be off and on my desk because, you know, I mainly got to get the body cleaned up, fitted, make sure everything works, and make sure these bumpers fit the body before I send them out for chrome plating. And I'll go from there. And I know I've been asked a few times. I was using Chrome Tech USA. That's who did all of my chrome plating. So I'm going to be looking for a new plater in the future. I don't have anybody yet, but I do still talk to Bob on occasion. So he still builds and he still does his own thing, Chrome Tech Bob. So I'll let you know what's going on there. But so that's where I'm at with this one, and just wanted to share it with you and answer some of your questions. And I will continue on with it. And you'll see this one off and on my bench. I'm not in a big hurry to get this one done. It's just one of the ones I've really wanted to do. I've got some others on my bench that I'm really excited about, so I'll get back to some of those. But I'm going to do some more work to this one, clean it up a little bit more, and also start, you know, dry fitting it to a lot of the other parts. But thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in and subscribing, and I'm glad you're enjoying this stuff. And I will talk to you all again. You have a good day.